Hi everyone, welcome to Creating with Cassie. I am so excited for you to join me today because we get to work on the May 2024 block for Perfectly Pieced for Me Time Delivered. Isn't that so exciting? I absolutely love Perfectly Pieced for Me Time Delivered. If you haven't checked them out yet, I have a link below. Go ahead and click on it and see all the amazing machine embroidery experiences that they have in store for you. Today, however, I'm going to stitch out the sugar cone block with you, which is what they titled the May 2024 block, and it is so cute because it looks like a little sugar cone with a little scoop of ice cream on top, and I absolutely love it for spring and summertime, and I hope you will too. So let's open our box and then get stitching. Okay, let's look inside. Ooh, what a pretty green. It's just very rich and kind of a bit of a gray green color. I'm so excited because that gives us a hint at what we're going to have inside. Of course, here's your card that has all of the codes that you need for the fabrics and a whole lot of other information. We're going to set that aside. We have a cute little card in here from Amy Smart. It looks like she is the designer of some of the fabric in this box, and that's kind of fun. A little getting to know you about Amy. We have our pin. Look how cute that is. It is definitely a pinwheel block, and I absolutely love it. Such a pretty pin. Okay, then we have our fabric. We got to set that aside for a minute. We have some beautiful thread. This is Glide Sun-Kissed Peach. Such a pretty color, and it actually matches, it looks like, some of the flowers in our fabric. And then we have some, ooh, this looks like some leather. Let's take a look at this. It's going to have to do with our special project this month, and I just want to feel it. I want to see what this feels like. Ooh, it is. It's nice, smooth leather. Ooh, very pretty. I really like how that feels. So that is for our special project. And then, of course, we have our gorgeous instructions that show you some ideas for what you can do with this block. I like how you have this little teeny tiny pillow here that's made with the 4-inch blocks showing the sugar cone mini quilts. And then you have the really cool patterns here that kind of look kaleidoscopy. I really love that. And this block being called the sugar cone is so fun because look at that quilting. It really shows you that cone part of the design. And then the specialty project is making a tote bag. So fun. I love it. Okay, I'm going to put all this stuff back in except for our pin because it's time to dive into this gorgeous fabric and see what it looks like. All right, so we're going to pull off that Me Time ribbon and set it aside. Let's look at this one. So pretty. Oh my goodness, it's all these beautiful flowers. Definitely what you want to think of when you think of spring. And I love how they have little labels here like parsley primrose and lupine and juniper buttercup, just kind of naming the flowers that are in the design. That is such a pretty pattern. I absolutely love it. Then we have this beautiful yellow. Oh, look how sweet this is. It has such a sweet little white flower design with the yellow background and little dots. Very pretty, and it feels really good too. Both of those two feel good. This one has a bit of a rougher texture, but it's not rough by any means of it. It doesn't feel comfortable, but it's just one of those that has more of that linen quality. And it's just kind of like a light blue wash on this fabric. It is blue, not white or gray, and it's just really light, and ooh, it'll be so nice. Okay, this one is adorable. Oh my word, look at these cute little flowers, and there's a little green center, and it has that beautiful brown design, the little check design in the back. And it is adorable, super soft. Okay, I already want to make so many things with this fabric. This one's more of that peachy color that kind of goes a little bit close to our, oh yep, our color that we got for our thread. I say that's a pretty darn close match. Gorgeous. And it has just some random designs. I love it because they're kind of different everywhere you look, and however you cut it, you're going to have a different design peeking out on your pattern. So pretty. And then this one, okay, we have a good amount of this one, so this is probably meant for our back. And depending on what you're making, it could be in your tote, all sorts of things. And that is luscious. It's very soft, very light pink on the side of red. It's not quite red, but a little bit of that darker pink color. And it is just precious. So pretty. Okay, I absolutely love the fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and pick which fabric I want to show you for our sugar cone block. And I mean, I really want to do the cone, I think, in this color because it is a sugar cone. So I'm going to do that as my main color, and then I'll figure out my other fabrics, and I'll join you back when I have everything cut and ready to go. Friendly reminder to make sure you starch your fabric. This is my favorite starch, but use whatever starch you prefer for your quilting projects. Now that I have all of my fabric starched and pressed, it's time to get started on our embroidery. I already have our light mesh cutaway stabilizer, or you can use the ultra light mesh cutaway stabilizer. Both are really great behind fabric. It just disappears. You hardly know it's there. So I'm going to go ahead and load my embroidery file, and then we can go ahead and get stitching the placement line for our batting. And you'll see on here, I'm using that sun-kissed peach color for the thread in our kit. It's just such a pretty color. I really wanted to use it all the way along during our stitch out today, just so you could see it and enjoy its beautiful color along with me. Now that we have our batting placed on our stabilizer, we're going to go ahead and stitch the tack down line, and this goes around 2 times to make sure it's well secured to our stabilizer, and then we're going to go ahead and trim it up. So I'm going to go ahead and let the machine stitch that down for us. Okay, now that we have our batting stitched down, we're going to take our curved scissors, slide them under our batting, and then I like to hold it up a little bit taut while I trim, so that I can trim nice and close to my batting without clipping any of my stitches and getting rid of all of the excess. And we're going to do that around all 4 sides. Now that we have everything nice and trimmed, it's my favorite part. We get to stitch the piecing template right onto our stabilizer and our batting. And this shows us where to cut, where to trim, where to sew, and where to place all of our fabric. It's just my all-time favorite part because it's our roadmap to our success when it comes to making these blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and let my machine stitch that directly on my stabilizer and on my project batting. There's the beautiful piecing template in all its glory. So we know from our instructions that this piece right here is piece number 1. So the very first piece you're going to put down is your sugar cone for the sugar cone block. And I chose to do the beautiful yellow color because I want my sugar cone to be yellow, but you could do it any color that you want and have a lot of fun with this block. So when you put this piece down, make sure that you completely cover the area that is for piece number 1, and then you can go ahead and stitch the very first tack down line. All right, so now that we have stitched the tack down line for piece number 1, we're going to take our scissors and line it right up against the left side here, and we're just going to trim right along those stitch line, taking care not to clip any of those stitches. After you have it trimmed, go ahead and place piece number 2 right against that stitch line, smooth it in place, and then go ahead and stitch it. What we're stitching now is the tack down line for piece number 2. Time to press. We'll take our iron and press those brand new stitches, making sure that they're joined to our fabrics, and then we'll take piece number 2, fold it nice and taut against that stitch line, and we make sure that we come in here and make a beautiful crease to make beautiful tight lines, and that really helps the shape of our block come to life. And then I like to push the fabric right up against where it's going to curl up on the side of my hoop, and just give it a teeny crease there so that it stays where I want it while I continue to stitch the rest of the block. When you're finished, go ahead and return your hoop to the machine. What we're stitching now is a cut line for piece number 3 to join our block, and it's being done right here on piece number 1 on the right side. So we're going to go ahead and let it stitch that, and then we can trim. Time to trim. We'll take our curved scissors, grab our fabric, hold them right next to that stitch line, slide it along, cutting and moving our fingers down the fabric so that we can cut nice and close without trimming any of the stitches. Toss that bit away. Then you can grab piece number 3 and put it right up against that stitch line, sliding it in place, making sure it covers the line on both the top and the bottom. Smooth it in place, and then go ahead and return your hoop to the machine. What we're stitching now is the tack down line for piece number 3. Time to press. We'll press those brand new stitches, joining them with our fabrics. Then take your piece of fabric and pull it nice and taut against that stitch line. Smooth your iron across it to make a beautiful tight press so that we can really see our pattern. All right, and I like to just come up and hit the other one because we're going to be stitching up here at the top. So I want to make sure the first one we pressed is nice and taut, as well as the second one. Hit that top bit a little bit more, and we're going to stitch the cut line up here for piece number 4. What we're stitching now is the cut line for piece number 4. It's being done on piece number 1. It is time to trim. We're going to take the teeniest bit right here of piece number 3. So I just cut in and match it right there to where I have the stitch line. And then I can go ahead and grab the part of piece number 1 that's in the same corner, hold it nice and taut as I slide my scissors across the stitch line, and then I'm going to lift up and make sure that I grab a little bit of piece number 2, and then just curve my scissors off. And that makes room for piece number 4. You're going to place it face down right against that stitch line, slide it into place, smooth it, and then you can return your hoop to the machine. What we're stitching now is the tack down line for piece number 4, or if you think about it, it's the ice cream part on the top of the cone. Time to press. Press those stitches. Go ahead and grab your fabric, pull it nice and taut, and smooth it in place. All right, we have all of the pieces of our fabric in here, and don't worry, it looks not quite as magical as you expect it right now, but once we trim up the block and have it quilted, you're really going to see the cone part and this coming to a point which will make it look like a little ice cream scoop on top. It's going to be so cute. So I'm going to return this to the machine, and we'll stitch that cutting outline so you can really see what this block is going to look like. So what we're stitching now is the trimming outline for our block. It also doubles as a cut line, and it just really shows you where the block is finished, where to trim it all up, and it's just part of the magic of the block. So there you are, you have a couple of corners, and then this is going to show you what the scoop looks like, the ice cream scoop part. So cute, all of a sudden it's a triangle. It is time to do the quilting, and since I've been stitching this whole thing in that sun-kissed peach color, I don't have to change my thread, but at this point, if you did it with your white thread, this is where you would change out to your beautiful colored thread for the quilting. So let's get stitching. And with that, we're all done with our stitching. Look at this block. Isn't it so cute? I love the quilting, how it makes kind of that sugar cone design, and then a little bit of swirls up here for the ice cream part, and it's just adorable. So let's release it from its hoop and trim it up and see it in all of its glory. I'm going to go ahead and move that. Grab our cutter and our ruler, and I'm going to cut this from the front this time. I try to switch it up so you can see both the front and the back cutting, and I'm just going to line this right up on that cut line, that final outline that we did to make the shape of our block. And I'm going to trim, twirl my block around, make sure I line everything back up just the way we need it to, and then trim. 2 more sides and we're done. Line it up. Trim. Last one. Trim, and there you go. Ready for a block for ice cream or any time of fun, or any fun summertime things. So cute. You guys, look what we made. Isn't it amazing? amazing. I absolutely love it. I'm actually ready to eat it. Doesn't it look delicious? It has such a cute little sugar cone pattern. A little piece of, let's see, we'll say peach. It looks like peach ice cream on top. A little bit of blue sky around it just to give it some fun. But you really could play with this. It doesn't have to be a sugar cone. You can make it a pinwheel. You could have a whole lot of fun. But I had tons of fun stitching this out with you today. And I hope that you go ahead and give it a try. And in the meantime, I hope that you go out and make something beautiful. We'll see you next time.